Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Across the Waves. This is where Vicki and I take an idea, a theme, a product, and we create cards to share with you. This month we are focusing on dots and stripes. I did dots last week, so I'm going to do stripes this week. I've taken a piece of the Floral Dance paper from Paper Rose and I've punched out a circle. I have a flower here that I'm going to fussy cut. I have another piece of the pattern paper that I cut out that I'm going to use. And then my background is from the Floral Dance Basics, and I've chosen this pink one. I have a pink theme today. I have a piece of pink that I have embossed, and it doesn't show up well, so I'm just gonna swipe across with my puffy heart ink. I have a layer for my panel here, and this is my layer for this, and then my card base. So let's get started with putting this together. And I'm gonna fold and burnish my card base like so. All right, so there's that. Now this goes on next. So I'm taking my ATG machine, and I'm gonna go like so. And I'm gonna add that there. All right, and I'm gonna, I think this is Basil paper. I don't remember, I'll have to look it up. I just kind of throw all my papers together and use what matches. So there's that. The next thing I need to do is, I want to do my piece that goes across. So let me get a scrap of paper to put underneath so I don't get ink on my mat. All right. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. And I'm just dragging it across. I'm not pressing. And as you see, I've caught a couple of edges, but that's okay. All right, it just gives it a more distressed look. All right, so this I'm gonna put on next. And I'm gonna put this on with double-sided tape because it's embossed. And I wanna make sure it sticks. I know a lot of people use glue. I never had luck with glue. I don't know, it just doesn't grab. Of course, maybe it's the glue I was using before. Who knows? All right, let me take my backs off and I can put this on. And I do have to watch which direction I put this on because those are words and we don't want our words upside down. So I'm gonna put this here. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put it on, let's see. This goes on top. I'm just kind of getting an idea. I don't want, there. All right, let's put this on next. As you can see, this is the back. I was gonna use the back side of this, and then what happened was this was going to be lost, so I needed something, so I decided to go with the circle. All right, now this goes on here, and I'm going to put it on like that. Okay. And it's butted right up against that, but I am going to move it over. No, it's even. Never mind. There. Ooh, I was close, but it looks crooked. Let me see, hold on. Let me move this up. There. That looks better. Whew. All right, now this is going to go on next, and it's going to go on right there. And I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. I used up all my others, so I'll pull out these. And I am going to put my dimensionals all the way around and in the middle. All right, there. All right, now I'm gonna have my stripes go across. So I think I'm gonna move it up a little. There, now I've got to fussy cut this, and it shouldn't take long. When you fussy cut, you just kind of go around the edge and you move your paper, not your scissors. So that way you get, the other thing I try and do, except for on things like this, I try to open my scissors up and make long cuts, like I'm cutting all of those pieces at once. So here I'm gonna go open it all the way, cut all the way down, open it and cut that off, only because there's a little tiny piece here that I've got to get. And then I'm going to follow this around and just kind of jiggle it. All right, now I have a corner here and I cut it off. If you have any corners and there's not a corner on the image, just go back and trim it off. All right, now here's this. And see, I'm just going all the way around, and I'm going to go as far as I can with that open pair of scissors. All right, let me clean up my pieces here, and then this goes on here. And I'm going to put it on with dimensionals because I don't have many dimensionals on. Okay. I love this back side of this. I might have to use that one week. All right. So I've got quite a bit. I think I'm going to put one in the middle. It's not a big space, but I would rather have it stay there and not fall down. I don't know what it calls. Indent. All right, I'm going to put this on like so. And I'm going to try something. I saw this idea and I loved it. I'm going to take, normally I use a gem on here, but I'm going to take, and I saw somebody who did this and I really liked it. So I ordered some buttons to play with, and I've got some twine. I just have to decide, do I want this pink? No, you know what? I think I want white. And here's why. The twine, no, that's not white. That's an ivory. They're all mixed up. There's the white. I just thought this was such a cool idea. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go. And I got to twist this. Hopefully I can get it in here. And if not, I may need to get my no, it's not going to work. Let me get my needle threader. All right, I could not find my needle threader, but I have this really thin twine. It's like gold thread, and I can use it the same way by just putting my two ends together, sticking it down in the hole, pulling it through. All right, and I can adjust it later. All right, and now I'm going to, let's see, I have to, go down here. No. It's taking me a few minutes. I have to think about this. All right. The other end has to be here. So it's got to come up through here to tie my bow. So I'm going to put this end in. Oops, both pieces didn't go through. All right, I'm going to work this out and come back. Okay, got it threaded, and now I'm going to tie a knot, or tie a bow, I should say. Let me get this first one done. All right. And then here's my bow. All right, now I'm going to adjust my bow. All right, I don't want it twisted, so yeah, I may not be able to avoid it. I don't know why it's twisting. All right, I'm just going to leave it. And then I'm going to take my ribbon scissors and trim it. And I think that's too big. So I'm going to take and make the bow a little smaller. And then the bow is going to go on with glue dots. So I'm going to take my glue dots. Oh, I'm trying to take that off and it's already off. I forgot I took it off yesterday. All right, I'm going to put a glue dot on one side and a glue dot on the other side. Doesn't want to come off. All right, and I'm going to put my little bow right there. And there's today's idea. And I didn't have a flower similar to that to stamp with, so I looked in my stash And I had a butterfly, so I used a butterfly to stamp the inside in the envelope. Now make sure you head on over to Vicky's channel, the link is below, and check out what she did using either stripes or dots today. Have a sensational Sunday. Bye.